Good evening, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm hoping to be able to complete the 5.3 liter build, and I'm going to do as much as I can to get this engine complete, and let's get started. Okay, I'm back at it for part 2 on this build, and this part, you see I replaced my paper on my table, working on a nice clean surface. I'm going to install the camshaft retainer plate and the cam bolts, of course, and that's what I'm gonna start off with. I'm gonna eventually, I think I'm gonna put the oil pump and get everything else on in this video also, but I'm just gonna start off with putting the camshaft in there and get everything lubed up for that. So that's what I'm about to do. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is get some assembly lube on this front bearing and the back bearing, because that's the only ones I can get to. Okay, getting ready to put the camshaft retainer plate on. And this is a pretty easy process, so I'll go ahead and start the time lapse back. Okay, so I just put the oil pump on, and I'm getting ready to put the bolts in it. I'm gonna also put a little bit of blue Loctite on the oil pump bolts, just for, not really for safety or anything, just for my comfort. So, okay, I kind of got in a little zone where I forgot to record. So what I did is I put the front cover on. It's not tightened up though, because I still gotta put the oil pan on and put the seal in there to make sure. Put some Permatex on it, basically, gasket maker, to make sure it seals in there, and then I'll go back and tighten that back up. But I put the pickup tube on it and the crankshaft deflection shield on it. So I think I might put the oil pan on it, but just not tighten it up, because I gotta flip the engine back off, and I'll show you what I have to do also. I can't get this barbell out because of the engine stand, so I'm gonna have to take it off the engine stand to get this barbell out, put the new barbell in, and then put the rear cover on. So, and then again, I'm gonna have to put the rear cover on that goes to the oil pan also. So I'm gonna have to do that with the engine off the stand, basically. Okay, got the oil pan on, front cover, starting to look like an engine now. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop the progress right now. I don't know how long this video is. If it's not long enough, then I'll go back and record more. I still need to put the back cover on, and I'm probably going to put the rear cover on and the barbell in the back before I put the heads on. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do next. One more thing I want to show you. In the Gen 4 engine, you have these little ports where for your active fuel management. So if you're not using active fuel management, it's a good idea to plug these ports up And that's what I'm doing now. And I bought these little dowel pins from, got them off of eBay. But they just go down inside these ports to close them off. If you don't close those ports off, there's a chance that they said oil will come up and leak down, which oil leaking down to the engine may not cause an issue, but it could have a issue with your oil pressure. So it's better to go ahead and do it than not to do it, in my opinion. So that's why I bought these little dowels. The only thing I don't know, but I'll find out, is if you have to hammer them down into it or not. So, but I'll come back and let you know once I find out. Yes, you do have to hammer them down to make sure that they're flush. And you see I hammered them down. And if you don't, the valley cover won't go on, won't sit down on there evenly. So I had to put those on there and hammer them down. All right, got the game hoist holding my engine while I put the rear cover on. I'm gonna get that on and I'll get back to the video. Okay, so I got my lifters installed, lifted new lifter trays and everything in there. And what I'm gonna do, or what I did, is I put a little bit of blue Loctite on the bolts, but I lubed up the lifters with my engine assembly lube, and I actually put a lot of it on like I did the cam, because this engine's gonna probably be sitting for a while. I also lubed up the bores, if you look, the lifter bores, if you look inside. So I'm about to, I'll set it on time lapse and I'll let you see me put this side in. So is clean up the head, that gasket mating surface for the head gasket mating surface. Clean that up with brake cleaner to make sure there's no grease on it. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the head studs in. The head studs, even though the instructions say not to torque them down, it's really hard to get the studs to go all the way down to the bottom without using the Allen wrench to turn it. So that's what I was doing. I wasn't torquing it down, but I was making sure that they were at least bottoming out. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. I'm not going to record the other side because it takes too long to do it, and it's the same thing as this side right here. So I'm about to go ahead and get the other side done, and I'll come back to the video. Okay, finished putting the studs in, and what I did is I went through and I measured from the tip down to the block surface, and I made sure that all the studs were the same measurement on both sides. And I actually found one that I didn't go all the way down to the bottom on right there. So measuring it is a good idea to make sure that they all are seated on the bottom of the block like they're supposed to be. So that's what I did. It says not to torque them down, but like I said before, sometimes you have to actually put a little effort into it to make sure it seats down at the bottom. And I'm going to measure the small ones now because I didn't measure the small ones. So I'm going to go do that and get me a lint-free rag so I can wipe off this block surface and go ahead and put the heads on. Alright, I had to put the head dowels in on both sides. I remembered that I had those in the bag. I also was going through my box of stuff and I realized I had a brand new timing damper. If you see, I put the old one back on it because I didn't know if I had want or not, but I had a brand new timing damper in there, so I'm not going to pull the cover off. I'm just going to keep everything in there like it is, because I would have to pull the timing gear off and everything, and I'm not going to do that. A damper is a damper. All right, so now I'm getting ready to put the head gaskets on and set the heads down on it. So we got an engine here. Got a couple more stuff to put on it. Torque the heads down. But it's starting to look more like an engine. Alright, so I'm getting ready to torque the heads down. I decided to give you a different camera angle for me torquing the heads down. So I'm going to go ahead and torque the heads down and start this time lapse. Okay, heads are torqued down to the ARP recommendations. And now I'm going to go ahead and start putting the rocker arms on. Okay, now that the heads are torqued down, I'm going to go ahead and assemble the rest of the valve train. Got the rocker arms, push rods, rocker arm bolts, and I put these little rocker arm pedestals on already. They just sit down in there. What I'm going to do, since this engine is going to be sitting for a while, I'm going to go ahead and put assembly lube pretty much on the tops of these. I'm going to put it all over there, pretty much just all around in there, and just get everything going. So I'm about to put you guys up on a time lapse. I'm gonna drop the push rods in and go ahead and get the rocker arms in, and I'm gonna put Loctite on the rocker arm bolts. I've seen the rocker arm bolts come out for some people, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some blue Loctite on those when I install them. Okay, so my engine is complete. Valve covers on, valve train on, everything is on except for the intake, and I don't know what intake I'm going with right now. So, but as you see, the engine is complete. All right, so I just finished putting the engine together. Everything went smooth, as you can tell. I didn't put the intake or anything on because I don't know exactly what this engine is going in, so I'm going to wait on the intake, the exhaust manifolds, and all the front accessories. So I finished this in 2 episodes, and that's what I was trying to do it in 2 videos. So again, thanks for watching. If you haven't, click on that subscribe button, click that notification bell. You do not want to miss what I get to put this engine in. So this is going to be a full build from the engine all the way up, and you do not want to miss this. So click on that notification bell, click like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.